Hello again, students. I hope you are fine again. So this is the last part of the unit 13. So we are going to, we have the last part, last grammar part, and then we will move on with the workbook, and I will just finish the unit 13. So this part is called compound subject and verb agreement. So it's actually, you know this subject, it's easy, okay? But I want you to remember again and make sure that you actually, we can say like this, I don't want you to make a mistake about this situation, about this topic, okay? So, one subject means singular verb, okay? What does it mean? It means that my desk is an important invention. So, if you are talking about only one thing, one singular thing, you have to use is, okay? Because we are using is for the singular nouns, okay? So it's actually the difference between is and are is this. Is for the singular, are for the plural. So two subjects means plural verb. What does it mean? It means my desk and my chair. I am talking about two inventions here, two different things. My desk and my chair are important inventions. I am using are here because I have two things here. Not singular, they are plural, my desk and my chair. So for this reason, I am just combining these two things by using and I am using are for these things. And the second example, Brianna and her brother aren't on the Ferris wheel. So we have actually two people here, and they are plural, and again I am combining these two people by using and I am using aren't because they are plural. So this is what actually can understand from this part. It's easy. So I want you to write down at least 3 sentences, or let's just make it 4. 2 sentences for by using is and 2 sentences for by using are. You have to use actually 2 singular noun, you can give example, and you will use are for the other 2 things, and it should be plural, okay, they should be plural. Just write down, and you can check your answers later. So now, we have this part. It says, read the sentences, underline the word and between the subjects, and circle the plural noun, okay? So we have 4 sentences here. The first one, Orville and Wilbur Wright was or were. Which one? Of course, it is were because it is plural. We have 2 people here, okay? The first man, so do you know what is the difference man and man? If you are actually using M-A-N, it's only actually one person. It means just one. But if you are using E instead of A, it means plural. So Orville and Wilbur Wright were the first men to fly an airplane. Okay. So and actually the answer is were here, and we can underline the and here. Okay. So number 2, the screw and the lever. So again we have 2 things. It is plural. So and we are combining these things by using and, right? And because they are plural, I have to choose is or are. Of course, are simple machines. Okay, good. So number 3, Danny and Shikar use or uses their computer in English class. So again, we have actually 2 people here. So I have to use uses or use. Of course use, because they are plural. We have 2 people here again. So I have to use instead of uses. Their computer in English class. And we have and here. And don't forget, you have to put s in the end of the verb if we are using a singular, let's say, person in a sentence. If this sentence says to us just only Danny, this time I have to use Danny uses their computer, they uses his computer in his English class. This time I have to use s because it's actually I have just one person here. But for this example, I have to use because it is plural. We have two people. And for the last one, for the last example, a knife, a fork, and a nail. We have lots of inventions, right? And you can check the meanings. You know what is knife? You are cutting. And fork, you are eating your meal. And a nail, okay? These are the inventions. And as I said before, there are lots of inventions here. So you have to use is or are. Of course, are, because they are plural, okay? So this is the end of the student book. I mean the grammar points. We had the target vocabulary first, and then we actually studied together the grammar point. And this time I will just move on with the workbook. So I want you to open page 120, okay? So open page 120. So before we actually go on with the examples, we have a kind of summary here. I mean, what did we learn for the grammar part? Because I want you to make sure that you know all of these things and the difference between them, okay? So it says, study grammar. So to or so, and either or neither. We have 4 different words here. So, hammers and scissors are levers. Seesaws are levers too. So you have already known what is to. So is actually the same thing. But for this sentence, you have to put, if you want to use so, you have to put so in the beginning of the sentence because this is a rule, okay? For example, hammers and scissors are levers, full stop, this is my first sentence, and seesaws are levers, we have comma here, too. The actually meaning is same. I am talking about the hammers and scissors are levers, and I'm also saying that seesaws are levers too. There is no difference. But another way to say the same thing for this meaning, you can also use so. But if you want to use so, you have to put this word, I mean so, in the beginning of the sentence. Okay? So are seesaws. This is my sentence. And the meaning is same. There's no difference. Okay? Seesaws are levers too, or so are seesaws. Okay? No problem. You can use these things. So I speak English. You speak English. I speak English. I do too. This is one way to say the same thing. And another way to say the same thing is so do I. For example, I play football. Okay? I play football too. Okay? Or I can say so do I. Okay? The meaning is same. There is no difference. Okay? But if you actually make a different sentence, you can use these things as well. Especially so do I. For example, I like playing tennis, so do I. Me too. Okay? I do too. This is actually the difference. And these things are actually affirmative statements. It means positive. The meaning is positive. Okay? You are actually saying one thing, and this thing is actually has the positive meaning. So now, on the right side of the chart, we have the negative statements. Negative, you know what is negative is, right? So it says the wedge isn't a new invention. Okay? The meaning is negative here. So it says the wedge isn't a new invention. So the ramp isn't a new invention, actually either. Okay? Like to, you have to put comma and write either to. But don't forget, we are using to for the positive sentences and we are using either for the negative sentences. Okay? You see that the wedge isn't. Okay? We can understand that the sentence is actually negative here. So the wedge isn't a new invention. The ramp isn't a new invention either. Okay? Or you can use another way to say the same thing by making a different sentence. So what is this? It's neither. Like so, you again have to put neither in the beginning of the sentence to say the same thing. And it should be negative, don't forget. For the positive, you are using to and so. And for the negative meanings, you are using either and neither. Don't forget. Just write it down, take some notes, okay? you can just actually write the same chart like here. It's very actually important. So let's look at one more time, and then we will just move on with the exercise. We will just move on with the exercise below. So he didn't call me. He didn't call me. Okay. She didn't either. Okay. I am talking about he. It can be anyone. Okay. And I am saying she didn't either. Same thing with to, but this time the sentence is negative, so I am using not to, I'm using either. Okay. He didn't call me, she didn't either. Or another thing, the way to say the same thing is using neither. Okay, neither did she. Something like that. For example, he didn't play football, she didn't either, or you can say neither did she. Same thing. Just the difference is very important. This is the last time. I'm just saying please write it down, take some notes. If it is positive, affirmative statements, you are using to and so. And if it is actually negative statements, you are using either, neither. Okay, this is a difference. So now, let's just move on with the part B. So look and write, complete the sentences with the phrases in the box. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 actually phrases. The first one is actually done. It's example. What is this? Ramps were used by the Egyptians, so levers were too. So actually, we can understand that it says ramps. So it's actually plural. It's not singular. So it's actually have to use were to for this reason. So now let's just look out the number 2. The scissors are a lever. Okay. A seesaw. Yeah, what's the answer? Is it actually singular or is it plural? Just check this out first. Of course, is it singular? So what's the answer? Is to, isn't either, or aren't either. I can understand that the only actually the answers could be is to or isn't either because it is singular. I cannot use aren't here, right? So, and for this reason, this sentence, the first sentence is positive, it's not negative. So directly I can say that the answer is to, okay? A seesaw is to, okay? This is the answer. So now let's just look out number 3. Hammers are not screws. Doorknobs, blah, blah. So do we have actually singular or plural verb nouns here? Of course it is plural, right? Because we have s here. So hammers are not screws. So what could it be? This is actually gone. Isn't either or aren't either. Which one? Of course isn't aren't either because it's plural. Okay, I have to use plural. So that's why I have to use aren't either for this sentence. So hammers are not screws, doorknobs aren't either. And the last picture and the last example, we have actually one answer left, isn't either. And it's the reason this is actually singular. It says a wheelchair. And I have to use actually either because the first sentence is actually negative statement. It's actually negative sentence. A light bulb is not a wedge. So for the second sentence, I have to use as I said here, isn't either, because the meaning is negative, okay? So I have to use isn't either. So please check your answers, okay? You can actually write 2 or 3 sentences by saying the same thing for different things. For example, you can talk about your favorite sport, you can talk about your favorite toys, or you can talk about your favorite games. I don't know, it can be anything. Just write at least 3 sentences by using these structures. It's very important. So now let's just move on with the next page. So page 121. Okay. So we have 3 parts here. So lever, wheel and axle, and screw. And we have some materials under these actually words. We will just going to read and we are going to choose true or false. It's very easy. So let's just read together. A hammer is a lever, a bottle opener too. So it says a hammer is a kind of lever, a bottle opener too. What's your answers? Of course it is true. Number 2, a screw is not a new invention. It's not a new invention. A wedge isn't either. So yes, what's your answer? Of course it is true. A light bulb uses wheels and axles, so does a train. What's your answer? Of course it is false, because you cannot use wheels and axles for the light bulb and for the trains as well. It's actually a different thing. Okay, false. And for the last question, levers, oops, I'm sorry. Okay, for the last questions, it says levers don't help us lift heavy objects, neither do ramps. So what's your answers? Of course it is false. Okay? Because actually the ramps don't help us to lift the heavy objects, right? It's actually different things. So, okay. So now it was actually the last part for the grammar point. So you please check the video, the whole video one more time, take some notes, and don't forget to write this example sentences. Just think and check your answers with your family or with your friend, doesn't matter. So see you for the next video.